Get on music. I
Welcome
don't,
back. You already know what time it is, man. Welcome to the
I don't
Delete
hear
That
no music.
podcast. You know what I mean?
I don't hear
With your
no
boy
music.
Pete
I
and
don't
that
hear no
guy
music.
do, that boy do.
You feel me? You understand me? Won't give a shout out to my boy Sugar Slim when I hear him. You feel me? But guess what, man? It's all love out there. We gonna edit this thing and make sure you hear us, baby. You understand me? We've been having all kind of love thrown our way. They got a lot of hate in the world today, P.
Man, you already looking like Lil Wayne when he shot that found out that Drake smashed his girl while he was in prison.
I probably feel like he feel. They got a lot of hate in the world today, P.
Man, I feel you, man. I've been hearing about it, bro. That's why we had to log in and get this thing going. You know what I'm saying?
P. They got a lot of hate in the world, P. Man, hey, P. I gotta do one thing for the world, man.
What's up? Yeah.
Just, just in case they thought we was slipping. Sugar Slim. Sugar Slim. Yeah. Sugar Slim. Shout out Sugar Slim. Man, we got some shit, man. We got some shit going on, man. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something out there, bro. What's going on in the world today is straight up bad, man. We're watching people cry, P. Even
I
though
feel
we
you.
got special guests tonight, man. We got a OG. You know what I mean? That I look up. Yeah, you may think I'm a G or OG, whatever you want to call me, and P, this and that. But it's P and Do, baby. But we got somebody that, you know what I mean, that got a little more wisdom than us, man. You know what I'm talking about? And they say a wise man hear instruction and become wise. So we gonna talk about it, P, tonight. What you talk about? What you think?
Man, we have to, man. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for, bro.
Bro, this is wrong.
So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? We're about to bring in somebody that has a lot of knowledge of what's going on, man. Been doing it for long years personally, a family member of mine, you know what I'm saying? And if I need anything, I look up to him for some questions. You feel me? And I don't have that many people to look up to for answers, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we about to bring in Mr. Freddie Mac, Fred McDonald. Fred, welcome to the show,
What's
brother.
going on, man?
What
It's an
up? What
honor
up?
and a pleasure to be amongst these guys here.
Yes,
Like
sir.
you
Yes.
say, start from the top. That hate trickles down. That's a trickle down effect, And I'm not gonna call any names because I'm not sure who all affiliated with this guy, or that guy, or that lady or whatnot that was supposed to be there. But yeah, it all starts from the top and a trickle down. Pretty much, I would say it begins with a turning point here in America to form an oligarchy and a
Mm-hmm.
plutocracy. Those are two terms that most people are probably not familiar with, But I would say, hey, use the AI, the Google, I guess some people would call it. But plutocracy is pretty much where you got uh, the super wealthy running the country, and we've seen that with the guys that's controlling the social media spots like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. With
Mm-hmm.
them controlling the media outlets that everybody look up to or get our information from, it's almost like a replica of what Germany did with the Jews. As far as taking over the media first and then
Mm-hmm.
moving forward, marching everybody to concentration camps. And I'll leave you with that there.
Hmm. Hey, Fred, that's deep, bro. And 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 I'm one of those guys that always paid attention to history too, man. And it always not only fascinated me but frustrated me at times. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we'll read or see some things that'll make us feel a certain way, right? Because of the imagination of the pain people could have felt, that they did feel, right? We can only imagine and speculate, man. But people went through some serious transgressions, man, that was against them, man, and some they 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 took a lot, man. Our people, they took a lot. right? So I know what it feels like to be discriminated against. I experienced it coming up. You experienced it before me, and people before us experienced it even in greater ways. That you know what I mean. That it's separation and segregation, and we're looking at right now in today's time. I had to bear witness to something that was so confusing and hurtful to me, right? It's a difference when you see it on TV. You feel for those people that's being taken out of here and deported and separated and family and stuff like that, right? And as a man that know what it is to be separated from family by bad choices or by, whatever choices, that you know what it feels like, but just to be sent away and taken in a way like it's hurtful, man. Because I got to experience kids crying because one of them had to leave, and there was students, and it was so hurtful, man. It was like, damn, man. Like I know those kids. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, man, it's crazy out here, bro. And it does start, like you say, right from the top, man. And it's like we sit by and we have people that root for, and we have people that don't, right? We seen Selena Gomez crying on live TV, say she ain't know they were gonna take her fan. Like, amen. If you ain't supposed to be here, you ain't be. I don't know, Pete.
Well, it's crazy, man. Here at the Delete That podcast, we uncensored, man. And I'm gonna say this: how is it that you can deport these families and these people, and your wife is not from here? You know, she came in on an illegal visa, or you misused the type of visa that was used for another purpose, and you then now have her here, and she's not supposed to be here. She's from Russia, and she came in on a different visa. You are saying get rid of all the criminals out of America and the drug dealers and give them the death penalty. Well, last I checked, you was a criminal. You had a few felonies that passed here, and you caught that. Not only that, I think it's against the law to make purchase of female prostitutes, Stormy Daniels. Like, it's crazy how he can be. It can look at it one way, and the supporters looking at it that way. But it's kind of like, don't blame me, don't do as I do as I say kind of mentality for Americans. Ray, you think what you think about any of that?
Mm, you right on point. You right on point with that. Actually, she was supposedly came here on an intelligence visa,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fun. That's a funny situation when you look at the type of visa. There's different type of visas that people come here on,
Mm-hmm.
and now they want us to focus on that southern border from Texas all the way over to Tijuana. The bottom of California. Now there's actually the border that we're not paying attention to when you get another group of people that come from the top, Canada.
On the north, right?
Right, coming from the Canada, which runs all the way across from Oregon all the way across over to New York, uh, across Detroit, and those are some of the areas where they'll come here on education visas. And there's another one that Elon Musk is actually saying that now if the Republicans start out by saying that we want to. They ran their campaign on immigration. They ran on immigration and lowering the food costs. Those are two of the things among others that they ran on. But the
Mm-hmm.
immigration thing is Elon Musk is. I can't recall what that one visa is called that Elon Musk is talking about. Um, he's saying that it's like top level immigrants coming in to do the jobs that like of let's say educated highly educated people here in America that would be doing. So what they're doing is it's kind of like a wealth grab. And if you're getting rid of all the government workers and cutting here and there, and then you started bringing in immigrants to do those jobs. Now you're talking about contracting those out to his buddies or family members.
Mm.
And then they subcontract it out. So you're getting rid of these high-level jobs, high-paying jobs, and then you're starting all over. You starve a person out, and if they without a job, for a while, then you bring them back. Say, okay, well, now you can start over here at a lower level and work your way back up, which is going to be some time to come, though. So it's a very, very tricky situation, man. And so what they're trying to do is reset America. And by him saying, make America great again, he's never answered, because a lot of people are asking, when was it great?
When was it?
When was it great? So, I mean...
So do you think, well, I mean, even with like the deportation and things that's going on, is there a goal that once it happened, like for them, the people, will they be stationed somewhere or something and then be allowed to apply from that point, since they've been here already? Would they, like, that's the question I have, like, would they get the opportunity to like just apply and say if wherever they got them housed at? Because I don't see them just releasing them in the country. They have no revenue, they have no money, and I don't know what the plans did they get to keep with their saving. I don't know, but if maybe there's a plan in place for the ones that has been settled here, maybe, and hasn't gotten any trouble, have been a good, productive citizen in the community, even though they wasn't legally a citizen. Do you think that there's a plan in place? Because I mean, like, to see there's some like stars and some people that had people been here, and you could say, well, they was illegal, you should have had them do the right thing or whatever, right? And that's where they're gonna say morally what you should have done, right? So what do you think there's a plan in place for that?
Curveball with that one. I thought you was really going somewhere.
I would say, yeah, there's a plan. There's a plan in place. Overall, I think when you start talking about free labor, we got to look at the how we ended up here, through our ancestors. That was all about free labor. This country was built on free labor. So now there's a lot of prisons that's sitting empty, have been sitting empty in Texas and among other states, that were sitting and ready for these type of things. Now, there's some people are calling them concentration camps, right? And then this phrase popped up about catch and release. You catch them, it's like, i.e. a slave, after they freed the slaves. And then you're talking about being re-enslaved if you didn't have the proper documentation.
Correct. That's where the sheriffs came into place, right? Police.
Right. And then you're talking about 12 Years a Slave with that movie there. It kind of like showed you a little bit of that. Now, what I've heard is that they round up a lot of immigrants, and they put, Colombia. There was a plane that went to Colombia. Colombia turned that plane around, and the main reason why they turned that plane around, because it was a U.S. military plane trying to take those immigrants back.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're looking at it, if something would have happened with that plane, being grounded over there in Colombia and couldn't leave or whatever, America would have had to do something about getting that plane back. And so what that leader of Colombia told him, he said, we'll send a plane over there to pick them up and bring them back. But y'all can't bring them back like that, handcuffed like that, without prior authorization to do this. Now, but going back to those concentration camps, the prisons, the empty prisons that's set up, they're talking about you get an immigrant, they actually pay taxes. A lot of folks say they don't pay taxes. They pay taxes, but they don't get a return on them income taxes. You know what I mean? They don't get a return. You know what I'm saying? So they got like special numbers, that's kind of like in reference to a social security number. So they pay in, but they don't get an income tax back for that. And so that's government getting money. And then plus on top of the low wages that they're paying for a lot of these jobs that they're doing. So now you're talking about going rounding up a bunch of immigrants, taking them to concentration camps. You don't have to pay them nothing now because they're like prisoners, but they get to stay here in America and work in these concentration camps to manufacture goods that's going to be sold out to the public, on top of taxpayers paying to oversee these facilities to keep them housed there. So it's
So you wouldn't. So then, is it hate or is it money? Is what you say?
It's both. It's both. I mean, to even look at a person and to dehumanize a person like that, it starts from evil. Evil is the driver, and a lot of times, I can't really say, but my opinion, I think it's pretty much overall of money. You look at a person that's driven by wealth and money, and you say, okay, I got $1 billion, I'm a multi-millionaire. How much more do you need? So it's got to be derived from evil. Overall, it's got to be evil, or we got to look at it and say, okay, power. And leaving a legacy of control behind. So you got other billionaires that were considered philanthropists. They were about, okay, well, I'm making money. What else can I do but give some of this money away to foundations and organizations to help people? Like Bloomberg, for example. I'm not saying, the man is a saint, but he was considered a philanthropist. And then you got let's say what's his name? Robert Johnson, I think, not the BET guy, but the other guy that paid for all of the Morehouse graduates tuition.
Tuition.
So
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are considered philanthropists, where they give back and silently, and you just can't happen to find out or whatever. And then over, you look at that too, to where a lot of that's write-offs. You can't keep a lot of money sitting like that anywhere, even if you're investing in it, because there's capital gains and capital losses. But to give it away, it's a write-off. Or you have a company that that fails amongst all the other companies that are successful. There's got to be some type of write-off somewhere.
Fred, it's funny that you say that, because Don Buckingham was willing to give Trump that 1,400 acre property in the southern part of Texas near the border to create a concentration camp or a place to house these people, right? So, of course, if I give this to them, I can get a write-off, right? Not only that, I'm just going to pour it, like we said, we don't sit here. That's another form of like, let me own some slaves type mentality, right? Because if I give you this and I know that I gave this to the president, she's going to get money on the back end. They got to house these people and feed these people, just like the prison. They get money off of that. You know what I mean? Those people giving you these snacks and, the food that you were able to buy out of your canteen and all this stuff, right? So, of course, she's going to get money off of this.
Right.
They're going to pay her somewhere, and ain't no telling what they're going to be paying her under the table. You know what I mean? Especially if you just jump up and say, let me go ahead and do that. So it's modern day slavery at the end of the day. And, I was wondering, you're going to pick up all these people, like you mentioned, the airplane got turned around, right? How do you pick up all these people, load them up on a plane and just fly somewhere and you land somewhere in somebody else's jurisdiction and expect them to say, yeah, matter of fact, we just going to stop here on the airport, drop them off. When are you going to drop them off? On a damn tarmac and just turn around and leave? You know what I mean? So right now we're having, like Duke said, he's seeing children, you know, hurt and going through this at school level. These are kids that have grown up with each other and didn't, you know, they don't have the same mentality that they did back in the day. So I
Right.
have to ask, is President Trump's American First priorities hurting Americans and the families here? You know what I mean? Because the relationships that you
Yes.
build with these people, now you're breaking them down and they're seeing the firsthand, and you try to erase the history. Now they're saying, like, well, where is this coming from? As much as they try to do history, you do think it's going to be bad in the next 4 years?
I think it's going to be much worse. It's going to be something that we haven't seen before. I mean, you got some. See, they asked Trump who was his favorite president of all times. He came out and said Andrew Johnson. That was the predecessor. No, that was the president that followed after Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
He came through and said, okay, your slaves were freed, but we're going to override everything Lincoln did. We don't care what they said. So now you had the Freedmen's Bureau that, you know, and then the banks that was created for black people that Frederick Douglass was over. I mean, Frederick Douglass was over, but Johnson came through and said what they did, what Lincoln administration did, tried all that, and he gave the rule for white folks to say you can still do whatever you want to do, and so that's when they started going back, gathering them up. Now, what dude was asking about the immigrants that were here and went through the process as far as getting to get citizenship, they popped up with some birthright citizenship, and so now he's been, you know, the administration has been sued now for overriding birthright citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, to say that, because they're saying now that you could be born here on American soil originally, that makes you a citizen. But now they're trying to say that if you're born here to illegal parents, we send them back and you got to go back with them. And send the whole family.
So
back.
he's following another man that was impeached in his time period.
No, this is this is the latter part of the 1800s. But he said that was his favorite president. Now, and a lot of people will say that Donald Trump is crazy. I wouldn't say that he's crazy. I would say that he's following an agenda. Well, you know, you got the puppet masters, so he's got an agenda. What you say?
I just was listening. My bad. I was shout out to P2445, Jim Crow Esquire coming into effect.
Hey, you read from the chat, dude?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's crazy. I'm gonna say this: the agenda. You're right with this agenda, right? Because aren't the presidents supposed to know what's going on the executive orders? Is it possible that you can come in on day one, a few hours, and you know exactly what's on all those executive orders?
Well, they don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just about to say I would think that if it with the cast he have around him and the people that he have working with him that he came in with, they already had a plan in place, I would think, and that's why absolutely. They were so able to rapidly. You know what I'm saying? Like they had, any great team would come in like that. I mean, so he knew exactly who was getting fired, they knew exactly who was getting fired, who was going where, like, and I mean, if you look at it, I strategically they have become the most powerful, so that would in return show other countries that they that it's a powerful front, right? Now, that's where I think, far as it's not hurting, that in that effect, far as it shows strength and unity in the front, right? It makes other people in other countries say, hold on. They control every aspect of things. They're powerful now, right? You was able to hack and do all these things. Now they got the top hackers, the top, you know what I mean, the people that prevent all this, right? In that aspect, I would say that there's definitely a form of power that you see, right? Power, we believe in a higher power, but I'm saying, far as earthly, it's a form of power, and that I mean, we had problems with other countries, terrorist threats, and yeah, we don't want what's going on in other countries to happen here. But it's just so much that people, the domino effect to people that are feeling the debris from the decisions, man, and it's collateral. Of course, it's collateral damage. You know, it always been a motto: few have to die for all us to live the life we live, man. And just from that aspect of not saying I agree with none of this that's going on as far as that part, but it's just that I'm trying to find a sense in what's going on, man. Like that's where like I hear everything, Fred. Like I'm with you know what I mean, everything that happened in the past. Now we seeing history repeat itself in so many ways, man. We seen some things that didn't happen that have never happened in history. And so and along with this, right, this is just another, right? COVID was real. Everything that we experienced was real, man. These catastrophes and storms and weather changes in different places. We see things that's happening, man. So I'm just a person that try to find a reason in what you're doing. Is it madness? I don't know. That I don't see if it's madness that you have people that made choices and chose, man. And before we heard about the last election, it was cheating and all this here. I don't know what's controlled now, what was fair, what was not. I can't say, but it's just that what's going on, like the release of different people and things like that, right? I did, to be honest with you, I had got some news, a young kid, not the chain, but a young kid that I knew was up under me. I found out he also got pardoned. So there was some other people that got pardoned, and that was under Biden and them, I think, going out. So they actually pardoned some people that been in there a long time that should have been out. So it's just, bruh, it's like some of the stuff, like, do you see this shit? Like, there's a movie, it's on TV, it's on live TV, and it said it won't be televised. Oh, it's televised. It's right in front of you. You know what I mean? So it's a scary time in our in our lives right now, man, because not knowing, right?
It really is.
Everybody feel what they don't know. So it's the unknown that people are shooken by, or feared by. It's the unknown that, you know what I mean, seeing the people, you know, I could imagine like how they feeling inside their homes. Like, am I next? Am I next? Where do I like, that's scary. Like, it's not like you being hunted, but you being hunted. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, it's a scary feeling, man. So, you know, I just pray for them families, man, and in all sincerity, like, you know, I just hope it's a plan in place to reunite them with their families. I mean, if their families are established good people, like they should, you know what I mean? I think, I don't know, man. I know you could say you could take a trip and go visit your family, but is it safe if you well off? You are, like you said, like Selena Gomez, if you well off, is it safe to go back home? You know what I mean? Can I fly my family here from time to time? I don't know. If you saying they can still come fly in and got to be gone, be here for so long? I don't know. Do you just want to get them out so you can add them back in? That's the question. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, are they just out forever? Because one of the kids said I have to go forever, and I'm like, go forever. And they're like, damn, it like messed me up, bro. And I'm just being honest, like mentally hearing those words, and I can't answer it. And you telling me, and I'm trying to understand. Do you mean forever? And they're like, and that's why I'm like, I don't know. Maybe y'all misunderstood. I don't know, man. Well, and you see it a lot, man. You see it. You see exchange students come all the time. You come around all the time. You've been watching it when you was in school. You know what I mean? I was in school. You see it more now, but you see them. You see schools, teaching them the language, teaching them, the etiquettes and different things, man. So it's I don't know, man. It's down, bro. It's a like I do a lot for kids, man, in the community, man, and Fred, this shit hurt, bro. I ain't telling you no lie, man.
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm saying you can't have your family come visit. You just do it the right way. The scribble, man. Yeah, man.
So to answer your question, they said that once you have been deported, the United States government will bar you from returning for 5, 10 to 20 years or even permanently.
Dang.
Because they're saying that you are illegal.
Right.
You can be an immigrant and get citizenship, but if you break the law, they can put you out of this country.
Right. No, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But what
even us. We can't go to some countries if we break the law here. Some countries won't allow a felon to come to their country.
Yeah, Canada, Australia won't even let you go, even if you serve.
I respect that. But what I'm more concerned about, like, what if the person had a kid here and was born in a hospital? How does that work? I mean, like,
on this land, American soil. And you're right. I mean, that's a part of the Constitution. Now, think about this.
Yeah, they have some families been here some years, man, and had kids. So
think about this. You remember Trump was trying to say that Barack Obama.
Oh yeah.
Remember that birthday movement? He came out with that and got a lot of people behind him on that by saying, I don't think he's even a citizen. He shouldn't be running. Now, this man was a senator before he became president. Wow. So I'm for sure they went and did all the investigations and vetting, to make sure they knew who he was and what type of baby food he ate. You know what I mean? So there's no way that they didn't know that the president was not a citizen. But that's one of those things that history repeating itself again, because they did that same thing back when they was calling black folks that appeared or seemed to be anti-American. They would call them communists. They was calling Martin Luther King a communist, Malcolm X a communist. Anybody that was speaking against the government that wasn't right, saying that the government wasn't right, they was labeling them as communists. With the Jager FBI, COINTELPRO. So I mean, it was treacherous. And
so how did they define the people that was anti-American? How they define that?
Well, like right now, like in some countries, you can't say anything against the leader of the country or the democracy here we have supposedly. If you said something against that democracy or the governmental setup, you could be labeled anti-American.
Oh, wow. And
so now they're slowly trying to change the way things are said. And you know what? Trump has also came out and said all those people that was against, that went with him, he was going after them.
Oh yeah, he fired them today, though, right?
Oh yeah,
he talking about he went in there and fired 400 generals, man, in the military. 400 generals.
Right.
They said the military is leaderless.
Can I just establish something?
Yes.
I ain't anti-America. I put the military proudly on my stuff.
Well, you know, I tried to find. I'm gonna let you know something. I couldn't find a
feel all my
flag, but
family
I found a red shirt. You know, so there's
Well,
some blood in there.
I'm a
You know,
Chiefs fan.
But no,
yeah.
real talk, man. But that's some deep stuff, man. I mean, I I I don't want to like. Do I think it's gonna get that crazy? No, I don't think it's gonna get that crazy. But like if there's other country that says you can't come in, you have committed a crime, right? I don't, that's some wow.
Well,
That's
but
some
you
that's
know,
some
you got to look at it like this too, though. Every war that took place here in America, on our money we have God, and God we trust on our money, and God we trust. But every other country that America's ever went after was pretty much Islamic
right.
Islamic countries. Now, when you look at
Scribble.
what Hitler did, again, Jewish folks never imagined that they would be marching to concentration camps. But he did all that to get the people behind him first.
Right.
And what has Trump done? He got a whole group of people behind him first, and they use these fear factors.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if these people are gaining, we're losing something.
Man.
And so the blame is always placed on a so-called victim. See, it was black folks in the beginning.
Well,
It's
before
them.
that, it was
Right.
Japanese too. Remember, in
Right,
San
China, when the
Francisco, they wiped
railroads,
out.
exactly.
They wiped out that San Francisco, that whole city out there, and had a problem with
Yes,
them. I remember that when I was younger,
that's
they
right.
was like, "Oh no," they
That's
was
right.
having a problem in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they signed an executive order then to have them taken out and different things because we had came out of war with them. So
Mm-hmm.
this
That's
is
right.
Americans' history. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we don't like
That's
it, take
right.
them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And like
what's to
you
stop
said,
them from going all the way back to us, Fred?
yeah. So like what you saying, dude, is casualties. It doesn't hurt them. It doesn't hurt them.
Hey,
You know. But all empires fall though.
hey, not to change the subject, man. I'm gonna give a shout out to Scribble. So let's give a shout out. Scribble is saying, he said the thing is people are coming to the country 8 months pregnant just to have a child so they can get citizenship, and that's not what birthright citizenship is for. That's called anchor babies. What baffling is all the illegal immigrants that here that want socialist policies. Like, didn't you come here to escape that bullshit? Get the F out of here. LOL. Illegal immigration affects legal immigrants and lower wage black folks most. Oh, please do the Trump and Hitler comparison. Go study Hitler better. LOL. Okay, Scribble said a couple of things. I don't know which one to address first, but I hear you in the first two. I know about the ones that could be 8 months pregnant and do it, but I'm just saying about the ones that have been here maybe for the last 20-something years. So that's what I'm more in concern of, that then had kids here and then their kids then had kids. So do that make them all illegal? Because there's some people that been here for a lot of years. So that's where I'm trying to get to, Scribble. I hear you on all that, but you know what I mean? It affect, I think it affects all people. I really don't count on that to affect me. Right. And I'm just saying I got a lot of stuff in life that affect me and I can't focus on that, bro. Like I've been suppressed a long time, Scribble. But it's open borders, Bryce Cooley say open borders, lower wages for us black folks. Right. So he said open borders, lower wages for us black folks. I get it. They gonna they have shown time and time again that they will do whatever they want to do and do whatever they can do when they want to do it. Right? It's no different than the stimulus that came out. Like, was we reprinting money? A lot of it without. And we in deficits and say we ain't in a deficit, but money, the country have problem. We send them billions of dollars and trillions of dollars. So there's money that's there, man. We are America, man. We strong, right? So at the end of the day, we as Black people been dealing with this all our life, Bryce. So whether them borders open or not, we still been getting the same wages, man, and still trying to get a nickel over a dollar, man. So when speaking for Black folks, I'm just saying I'm speaking for this Black man. I can't tell you about the evil that men do. I can only tell you about the shit that I go through. You know what I mean? I always say that. Shout out to Jada Kiss, man. But that real, I can speak for me, Bryce, as a Black man. They can speak for them. But for me, it's more or less of I'm telling you that whether they get the job or not, whether my job has nothing to do with that. Yeah, they take taxes out your money. They're gonna take taxes out our money anyway. Whether they legal immigrants or not, the tax is gonna be the same that's coming out my check. I'm gonna still have to pay towards Social Security. I'm gonna still have to do all these different things. That won't change, man.
True.
Now, them getting out gonna make my wages go up. Since you said make it go down, will I get double the increase? Well, you saying that I will go to making shit $100 an hour? If that's what it's saying, then shit, yeah, man, go ahead on and lock that thing down. But ain't changing that. Like, what are we talking? I hear all the stuff everybody's saying, and I ain't, like I say, I'm a person that, yeah, I ain't biased. I'm a person that gonna think about it. Like I said earlier in my conversation, I'm just trying to figure out what's the end goal. Like I just want to know, like, what it's gonna do. What Scribble said, I wouldn't trust my job around this dude.
Scribble said, "Oh, he too smooth talking."
Come on, I love you. Shout
out Scribble. Now he also has another one I want you, Fred, to allow. I think this was directed to, so you can answer this question. It says, "Oh, please don't do the Trump Hitler comparison. Go study Hitler better." So what was the comparison you were bringing up to Trump and Hitler? If you can explain that, elaborate a little bit more on that for Scribble.
There's a number of comparisons that could be made. For one, I mean, like I say, Hitler, he took over the media first. And then he started depicting the Jews in ways that was derogatory. And then he got the other so-called Aryans behind him, like Trump is doing here today. He's talking to, when you blow a dog whistle, dogs are going to hear it. So if you say some racist antics, the racist people will know what he's saying. The phrase "Make America Great Again." When was it great again? Now, was it pre-civil rights, or was it Reconstruction? When was it great again? What time frame are we talking about going back to? Now, so, the compare. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was about to say, talking on what you said, maybe it's like, maybe when, like, do you think about back in the days how Harlem was? They had the Cotton Club and
the Renaissance.
Yeah, so it was a separation. Maybe it's a separation in group.
Well, see, it's not only about the comparison of Trump and Hitler, but now this man actually followed Hitler. He had a book beside. They say the man kept a book beside on his nightstand. Mein Kampf.
Trump,
Mein Kampf. That was derived from Hitler. And so what I was getting at, as far as the media takeover, now you got, at his inauguration, you got at least 3 billionaires standing behind him: Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. These guys, each one of them own media companies. They took over news outlets.
So Facebook and Twitter, right?
Yes, Facebook, Twitter, and not only that, like the news outlets, they control these things, so you can control the information that's been put out.
Because that's what old boy that owned Elon Musk did with Twitter. Didn't he make it to where you can say anything
X,
again? He
X,
uncensored it. X,
yes,
X,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Because
you
you
can
remember,
be uncensored. Censored.
you remember they banned Trump
Yeah.
at one time, and then he bought X out, Twitter out, and unbanned Trump. And so they're saying that that's what helped him a little bit on that election. So it's not only that.
Dude, shut
that
up. Shut up, dude.
scribble.
I saw that. I gotta say, let me go ahead and say it, man. Scribble said there is absolutely zero evidence Trump had the main come by his bed.
Now I said I said that. Now again, Scribble,
crazy.
Scribble,
And hold up.
Scribble.
That's a scribble.
I didn't say by his bed, Scribble. I said on his nightstand. I don't know what that nightstand was.
Could have been in the guest room, huh?
allegedly, Scribble. They said that this man honored Mein Kampf.
So
who is Mein Kampf, Fred? I'm not.
He was one of the guys over in Hitler that had a lot of influence.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, y'all. 1 second. I'll be to say that. Let's read P2445 says something deep.
Oh, I got it. Go ahead. Read it.
Not necessarily true. Remember, the DEI program just got shut down, so they don't have to hire you at all. So therefore, it will affect Black folks without open borders.
Well, see, now when you look at DEI, for one, come to find out that DEI favored 70% white women. It favors white women more than anything else.
Because they was getting 75 million of the money that was promised to Black people.
See, there's something, man, here that a lot of people are not looking at. Now, let's take globally, white folks, Europeans are a minority globally. Globally, they're minority. Now, they're trying to hang on to this power structure. Now, then you start talking about these abortions. See, there was a time when only white women can have abortions. Everybody else was illegally doing their abortions at home or underground in the basements or whatever. So they're trying to stop these white women from having abortions. So if they get rid of abortions, they can still go over to other countries. They can afford to do that. But the people here, they wanted to stop Black women from having kids because, we was having big families. And so these people have run out of numbers. And so they trying to maintain this control, man. So it's all about keeping control of what's going on here globally.
So would that be having something to do with what they were saying about Bill Gates and them about the New World Order and, talking about how many people should exist and all that?
Yes. Because you remember they was talking about doing all the cloning and things like that. They was trying to so now when you look at Italians, the Irish coming to America, they wasn't considered white. And Puerto Ricans, they wasn't considered white. Now you look at these applications, you got on there non-Hispanic or a combination of this and that. And then for us, it's Black, non-Hispanic, or Native American or whatnot. And then over there with them, it's just white. So then you sort of somebody going into the early 70s, Puerto Rico becomes a territory to where they can sort of consider themselves, well, the government allowed them to become a part of the census to say white, non-Hispanic, or Hispanic. So what happens is that increases the numbers and determine where the resources are going to go. But overall, these people are looking at, we got to maintain control of what's going on here because our numbers are dwindling. And that's what it was all about in Germany. They was like, well, we got to distinguish these people. Hitler wasn't he wasn't a pure Aryan. Aryan was considered blue eyes, blonde hair. Hitler had brown eyes.
So like how far? Okay, with all that being said, like you with evolution and all that, and the mixture of relationships and Mexicans and blacks and whites having these different children, you can't go back to a pure race. No, I don't give a damn how hard
Can't
you
do it.
try to. It's
Can't do
not
it.
going to happen, and it's going to evolve into something else. So you have all these grandparents that I know somebody that personally had a black baby, a mixed child with it was a black guy and a white chick, right? And the grandparents didn't like the dad, but liked the grandbaby. And I'm like, well, it's a little niglet in there. You know, it's a brother in that baby. That's your grandchild, and you love it. No, you don't have to like the husband, but the race is not a factor no more because you created a whole nother being. You took that blood and made something else. So after a while, we're not. It's going to be so years right now to down the line, it's going to be so different to where we'll never go back to that, right?
Well,
So
right.
how do you think that they're going to think to let the white women have more babies to, populate the world, but it doesn't change anything that's already in existence. It's kind of like
Well,
the turtle and the rabbit.
you
The
you
rabbit's
you
still
just
going to be, you know what I mean?
you distinguish everybody else. You just get rid of them by like that's why they coming up with uh this border issues. Just get them out of. We can't control these other countries,
Hmm.
but they want to control America to say who can be here. So you distinguish the people that's here, allow self-destruction, among people. And when you take out the resources, and people will self-destruct. I mean, there's no jobs. We're gonna start killing each other, robbing each other, and they're not affected by this. You're not gonna go somewhere and see Donald Trump sitting down in a roof Chris. He's not even gonna go on a roof Chris, and most of us can't afford that. And you definitely ain't gonna see him. Now he loves McDonald's. He's allegedly now a scribble. Allegedly, he likes but I don't know that. I said allegedly now.
Scribble on y'all back. Scribble said, "Not nobody but 20 crazy white dudes in the hill."
So what you saying? You saying that the
Water go
Proud
back.
Boys was only made up of 20 dudes?
Yeah.
Now that is one group, crazy group. There's a whole bunch of them out there, militia groups out there that they haven't talked about in a while. Remember they used to say they had that phrase militia going around. You ain't heard
Yeah.
that in a while.
Well, I know this before they did the insurrection, man. The FBI was ahead of the game. They knew that they were investigating people a year before the insurrection. These people were in woods training and different things like that. It was a couple of high profile people that they did have on their list to go stop them from doing this. And they were all military trained. So when you seen the phrase, when they were saying a year, when he was in office, stand down before he was coming out, the guy went on there and he publicly spoke and said, stand down. What happened was the military was being infiltrated by certain extremists. Yeah, extremists. And what they did, they had to go change the application and had to bring awareness to what was going on because they were going in there serving less than their 4-year terms, getting kicked out, going out and training each other and showing these people how to become militias and recruit. And they were going rural areas trying to get these people and training them, right? But then you had X amount of tons of weapons that was stolen from our United States military that they couldn't account for. You know what I mean? So they was looking at like, well, maybe there's a system that they're using that nobody that knows about. And
A
when the
lot of these
people were
dudes are
investigating
military
this,
trained. A
they
lot of
were
them going to
military
the
trained.
military for those reasons.
Yes. So they
And then
knew
they
about
go
the
out and train
insurrection
others.
way before January 6th.
Well, you remember doing the before Katrina and during Katrina, Bush, the daddy Bush, he was over the CIA, back in the 70s. He was over the CIA. Now, right now, Donald Trump is talking about getting rid of the CIA, which is not a part of the government, but he's talking about getting rid of the CIA and bring his own organization, to control the information. But they had a thing called Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
They were sent over in New Orleans, Blackwater, and those dudes had the right to kill anybody that was walking around if they wanted to. So I mean, CIA itself, I don't know, man. It's just it's what is it, centrist intelligence agency.
Yeah, that's a, yeah,
I don't
something
know,
like
man.
that.
It's but overall, going back to though that the terms oligarchy and plutocracy, when you just look those, the definition of those things up, it show you what it's all about. Just follow the money. And why does he have these billionaires, right there that got him in the office that's pushing their agenda? Now you got this dude that like this project 2025. That thing came up and they were saying that no matter who's president, Republican president, they was going to push that agenda. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. Exactly what they're doing.
So Fred Mack, let me ask you something. Because I'm looking at Scribble, he been back and forth. And we've been hearing some information, man. And so, and where do you think things are going to end up? How do you think things? Where do you see it playing out? How do you see it playing out?
My opinion, I think just like all empires that fail, this Trump empire, it'll fall, but we don't know where it's going to leave us. That's the danger in it. We don't know where it's going to leave us. Like I'm 60 years old now. As a child, I heard my parents and uncles and aunties and everybody in the community. I was like 5 years outside of the Civil Rights Act being signed.
Mm-hmm.
Going into preschool, right? So now I can recall some of the conversations that was going on, during the Nixon era, Carter era, and if you starve a person out like they did, no jobs, and then all of a sudden you get a job, you're trying to catch up. You're trying to get back in the game, to catch up from behind. So I think what's going to happen, I think Trump's empire will fall, but it's going to leave a lot of people devastated. So to where we're going to have to start all over again. But it's kind of hard to say where we're going to be.
Does he make it for the full 4 years? Does he frustrate enough people to make it stop?
Well, he's already talking about. See, there was one president, Roosevelt, that ran 3 consecutive terms. He was the only president that ever did that. 3 consecutive terms, Roosevelt. Now, Donald Trump has already popped up and said that he got cheated out of that one election. So he's going to try to make it to where he can run in 2028 also.
They say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying to win.
Hey.
So he got cheated out of that one election. So he's going to try to go.
I think he make it. I think he gonna make it the whole 4 because when you control everything, who gonna get him about
that? You can't control assassination attempts though.
Right. Well, you remember he kept talking about drain the swamp, right?
Yeah.
And get rid of everybody. So he want to bring in all his own people. But some of these other dictators, they have taste testers to test their food before they eat. So what is he gonna do? And then now look at it like this. He's sitting on 80 years old. How much energy does he have left?
He gonna have to build McDonald's on the White House yard because that's all he eats. McDonald's allegedly.
There it is. There it is.
He already then moved all those people out. So like everybody, the court system, that's all his people.
See, his vice president is one of the architects of that 2025 project.
Right.
And he's young.
Yeah.
He's young. And who's to know that they just move that agenda to where Donald Trump can get everything kicked off, get him out of the way, and then put his vice president in there. See what I'm saying?
So Scribble said Roosevelt was only allowed to do that 3 terms because he got them out of the Great Depression.
Well,
handling things magnificently during World War II.
That third term came around after, well, he did the Great Recession happened in 1929 during his third term. That wasn't the only reason, because he had like a lot of power structure behind him, like the Senate and the Congress, just like Donald Trump has now. See, Donald Trump didn't have the Congress and the Senate behind him his first term. So I don't know about that one. I mean,
hey man, I tell you this, man. We gonna handle that on another show. It was real interesting, man. Shout out to Scribble. Shout out to P224. If I'm saying it right, man. If I messed it up for you, man, we apologize, but we appreciate the interactions, man. Bryce Cooley, shout out to you, man. We appreciate the love, man. We appreciate the support, man. We appreciate P2445. My bad, man. But hey, man. It's love out there, man. Hey, we just speculating. We trying to see where it's at out there, man, and just trying to understand what world we in. We got shout out to Fred Mack, man, for coming on, blessing us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, P, it was a deep one, man. This was a deep one, bro. I mean, it was deep, bro. You know what I mean? It was deep. That's all I can say. It was deep, man. You know. Appreciate that, man. We got an inspirational word as usual, though, man. We always give people an inspirational word on the way out, Fred Mac. You know what I mean? I know you about to be out, but you got something you want to say to the people, man? Motivational, inspirational.
I would say, man, that stay healthy. Just try to stay healthy, and we could probably outlive this nonsense that's going on in this evil. Just try to stay healthy. Without that, I mean, there's nothing you can do anyway. You know what I mean? Just try to stay healthy.
Yes, sir. Big fave money. Let the people know something.
Hey, man, like I said, just, hey, stay informed. You know what I mean? See what's going on. And if this is not sitting right with you, right, and you're having a problem with what's going on right now in this thing, this is a perfect time to vote locally when it's chance to vote, and also vote for the presidential race next year. So you have the ability to change what you don't like and what you're seeing right now. Everything we're seeing right now is affected by what we didn't get out and do, if you didn't get out and do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, with that being said, man, I always want to tell y'all, man, love will conquer hate any day, man. We have to find more love, man. It's love forever. It's enough love. You know what the most beautiful thing about love? It don't have an ending. It don't have a bank account that follows it, right? But we got it to give, man. We got so much love to give, man. But yet we give the most crucial and most devastating thing, hate. Fuel the world with love. Now, I'm not saying what we're witnessing is out of hate and love, but what I am telling you, man, love conquers all evil. When you find that agape love that we are up under, you'll find yourself, man. That being said, man, motivation is everything. Inspire somebody from Delete That Podcast. Shout out to Sugar Slim. P, turn us up, baby. Fred Matt.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you a little shoulder lean. Scribble, I'm going to give you a little shoulder lean. Yeah, call in, Scribble. Call in next show.
Hey, Scribble. Yeah, check your messages, man. I got to holler at you, Scribble.
We want you on here, Scribble. You on the next show, Scribble.
Mandatory.
You on the next show. You gonna be able to speak your truth, and it's gonna be with respect, man. This is just a platform to speak your opinion. Nothing personal, man. We just having fun, man. So we love y'all out there, man. We appreciate y'all following.